Welcome, Emily fans. Here we're back for another manga reaction, or manga review. Oh my god, my whole tongue, my manga review and everything. Sam, they can't hear you. I still have the mic for you guys. But anyway, guys, so let's get the show started. Let's hear the intro. Let's have a good time. Welcome back here, guys, for another manga review of myself, LegendDVash, SamTheMangaMan, and right here, the King of Games, verified King of Games, RayApollo, and right here I have here the JBXclusive, but careful for spoilers here, for another manga review of My Hero Academia chapter 290, and we finally got the worst kept secret revealed, right, Ray?
Before we start, can we get a round of applause for our boy Vash? This is his first prediction that came true. And I'm so proud of him.
Give yourself a pat on the back.
You
really
really
give yourself
should.
a pat on the back.
I mean,
Well,
he said exactly what it was, and we were like, and I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna agree with him this time, and he was right. So we got to give him his props. He was right. Horikoshi's worst kept secret absolutely came true. So congrats, Vash. You did it. I'm proud of you.
I'm happy that it happened because we've been wanting this for the longest. Like,
Oh yes.
we got the black bubble that happened in chapter 267, right? That's been going on. They're like, yo, what did he say? The black bubble? Like, all of us in the group were like, we all know it must have been the whole reveal of the name, but like maybe not. Maybe he said like a different secret. Like 23 chapters later, yeah, it was probably that.
I would like to know what he still said
Same
to
here.
Hawk
Yeah.
specifically.
Mhm.
I don't know if we'll ever get that, but I would love to know. But it seems like I love that just how prepared he was for this. I feel like he's been running through this in his head for years.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, here we go. We get to see what and full spoilers, Toya has to say to his father and to his brother.
Yeah.
But
God.
James, what were your first impressions? And like, you guys don't join us for the reaction there. Like, what were you guys your first impression about this chapter? Like, even though it's the worst kept secret that we kept saying, but overall, like, how did you guys think about the whole reveal finally?
Man, I'm happy that we finally got the official reveal, because we've known this for hundreds of chapters at this point, like that Toya was Dabi, right?
Yeah.
But this reveal, like, one thing that I didn't even take into consideration that's actually the most impactful thing for me in this entire chapter is how this affects his mom.
Thank you.
Yes.
Because she's
Thank
been
you.
healing finally. Like, the family actually got together, and besides Natsu, the family was starting to heal. Now with this reveal of Toya, like, this is going to destroy her recovery. So that's actually what I'm most interested in, of how this affects her in this chapter.
I'm
it hurts the
concerned
most.
that her mental state is just done
It
after
broke.
this.
Like, her
Um,
face.
I fully see the worst happening with that situation, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Which will absolutely just shatter that family. Which really freaking sucks and is really dark if you think about it, because they're going to lose both parents if I'm being very honest. Which I'm like, yo, I feel so bad for Todoroki.
Yeah.
Shoto, I feel so bad for Shoto. Like, oh my god, this is a terrible time for him. So I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen to that character.
Yeah, but this is gonna be good character development for Shoto, though.
We'll see. Like, remember when I talked about characters switching sides potentially? He's on my short list.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
potentially. I don't know, man.
So, but thing is, for me, what I said in the reaction at the end is that people are saying that Endeavor could die, but I'm saying, like, what happened if Shoto dies and Endeavor becomes some type of Punisher, where he just not goes dark, bad, but more like he becomes
You mean like
into vigilante type of way, where he don't go by the hero side,
Batman's
like,
father?
in a way, yeah,
Like he goes Thomas Wayne. Maybe.
Yeah.
Thomas Wayne? Yeah.
Thomas Wayne works better than Punisher. So, like, instead of Endeavor dying, it's Shoto. Like, what happened if, like, we didn't see that coming? Like, because Baku and Deku definitely not dying because they're the most popular characters within the series. Shoto's popular as well, but I don't think he's top 5. I think he's top 10. So what happened if Shoto dies and we get Endeavor more character, more things to do, and he becomes that type of Thomas Wayne character, dark and everything?
So for me, I think Endeavor has to atone in a different way. I think Horikoshi is piling on all of this information to prove that Endeavor still has a really long road to atone with his family and to be recognized as the #1 hero in society. So I don't think he's going to die until much closer to the end of the series. But I mean, who knows which way it could go, honestly. But for me, I want Endeavor to live so that he can have to live with the results of his actions and atone for that in the future.
I agree. I think that so a lot of people are like, oh yeah, Dabi's gonna kill him. And I mean, remember, we were also like, Dabi wants to kill him. But now I'm kind of on the train of Endeavor sacrifices himself as his true atonement, is what I'm seeing now, mostly because everything that he has worked towards has been shattered, and I don't think there's any coming back from this as the number one hero, to be completely honest. Like, I feel like this is bro, you done. Like, you can never be the true number one at this point, and he knows that. And I feel like that's what's going to hurt him the most. And his only way to get, like, his atonement will be to sacrifice himself to save the true heroes next to and behind him, you know? I don't know if it'll be right here, but he also looked like he was like, I have to do something about Makia, which we all know he ain't gonna be able to do.
Yo, I felt bad. I felt bad when Endeavor was in that panel in page 8, and I like, I gotta do this. And then he gets a flashback when he told the people, just watch me. And then he tells himself, I just have to do it. After all, I'm the nation's top hero, right? It's like he's trying to give himself a pep talk, like, I got this. Like, his whole lungs is shattered.
He's trying to convince himself that he is this hero when he knows what he did. And that's like, that stuff doesn't go away. You know, we all have guilt, stuff like that. That don't go away. So it's one of those things where now it's just all of his worst fears and his past sins literally came back to life right in front of him. He's failing as a hero and as a father. And so it's like, whoa, double whammy, bro. So, yeah, like, Horikoshi, you mean, bro.
It's a real story because, I mean, in comics and other mediums, we are meant to believe that a lot of heroes are perfect. Horikoshi is telling us that is not the case. They're still very much human beings, and because they have quirks, they have the potential to make even bigger mistakes.
Yes.
So it's really good writing, man.
I love that. It's like, Horikoshi is just, every chapter just slaps, man. Like, he is doing, like, he's just telling a really good story that I'm really enjoying. Like, heroes aren't perfect, and he's literally showed us that multiple times. So all these people are like, oh, well, it's just, sweet, nice, fun shonen. No, it's not, bro. This is very real, and I really like. And when I say real, it's like it's grounded. At least they have these crazy powers, but they're still grounded with personalities and flaws. That's important in this type of story. So, like, Horikoshi, keep going, bro. Like, I also want to see, because now we go back to characterizing and breaking down the heroes. I want to keep doing that. Keep doing it.
I 100% agree, and I also don't want us to outshine also what happened in the first 3 pages, how Shoto and plus Nijire was trying to still fight on our boy Shigaraki. Was still like, hey, with all this going on, we still gotta take him out no matter what. So Shoto and plus Nijire, like, even though they wasn't the main focus of this chapter, but I just don't want to overshadow them of how they at least tried to do something before our boy Makia came.
I mean, it's not that they're getting overshadowed. It's just that we know that their effort is futile at this point. Like, I mean, that's what it is. It's like, Makia is there. There's nothing they can do against Makia. Let's just be very honest. As much as I love to have been like, oh, well, Shoto might be, nah. Makia is there, and did you see how he came to his senses immediately after he showed up and grabbed Shigaraki? He was like, all right, master, tell me what to do. So if he tells him to get rid of them, he gonna, but we all heard the internal monologue of All For One saying, nah, we got to get up out of here.
Yeah,
we got to retreat. And plus, he said it. He said his body is literally at its end, because it basically said, Deku beat the shit out of you. We gotta go.
But you and James and plus Sam were right about that. I think a couple weeks ago that both sides have to retreat. Both sides won and lost stuff at both ends, so they both have to retreat no matter what, because both sides lost. It don't matter what. The heels lost people. The guy injured people.
I think the villains won this, bro.
No. They won the most.
The villains won this. I mean, Shigaraki got his ass beat, but he can heal. But they have shown the destruction that the villains can do. They have also shown that their number one hero isn't who they thought that he was, and now they've basically taken out their top threat, which is Deku at this point. Deku can't really do much at all right now. Bakugo's down. Like, bro, the villains basically took this. So, I mean, they lost twice, which was their big gun, but twice as sacrifice versus everything that they just took from the heroes is huge. It's huge.
It's very true of how both past chapters, before it was Toga, and now we have about Dabi character development, like how each of them have their own answer. With Toga, she wants an answer, but with Dabi, he's giving his answers to the people. He's telling them of what's the truth about Endeavor.
I mean, he's just telling his truth, is what I see.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, he was like, yo, they did this to me and I want him to pay for it in every way possible. I wanted him to have everything so I could take it away from him, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, Dabi told him, I sent villains your way to make the path of your acceptance to number one more possible so that I can then tear it away from you. It's amazing.
And plus, Sam, would you want to see a theory about the Joker narrative? Because I don't want to take that way.
It was just in theory. It was like like a lot of homage for the whole Joker, like in the movies and comics and stuff too. Because it wasn't just with Dabi revealing everything, him dancing just like the Joker movie, but it's also his plan with Endeavor and how to ruin him. And the best way to ruin Endeavor is make him the most happy, give him everything what he wants, and then just breaks it and then take it away from him, make it more like it's a sham, like literally destroy his high pedestal number one hero being like the strongest of All Might and your whole selfish of kids. Because within Three Jokers, the comic book, the plan was to like heal Bruce Wayne of all his past traumas, make him like forgive the person who killed his parents, and like just know his name and knows everything about him. And the whole plan, the whole idea of Joker was just to, I want to heal all of your previous pain so I can create new ones for you that's going to hurt you a lot more right now at this moment in that sort of way. And it was in this sort of situation with Dabi. It's like, well, I thought maybe if I killed your prize child, killed Shoto, it would have been it. It would have hurt you the most. But no. Next thing you know, I try to taunt Shoto. And then next thing you know, you became the number one hero. Like, okay. This makes it even better. He got what he wanted, and now he's having his family redemption. He's having some remorse. He's having regret. He's looking at his families in the eyes. He's apologetic, and he's sorry. But in Toya's situation, he never seen it. He never got it. He also sends in the villain that Endeavor put in jail, attacking him, because that was his plan. Every step by step, like Dabi just made sure Endeavor healed his entire throughout this entire arc from when he finally feels remorse and regret, and now he's hitting him where it hurts the most, where his high pedestal, his family, his selfishness, his egotistical dream of surpassing All Might, everything came into this exact moment. And Dabi, I think he knew like this is the perfect moment where to break his spirit almost permanently right now, even though he believes, all right, I gotta do something to Gigamakia. But we all know he's not gonna be able to do anything. But remember when All For One, before he revealed All Might the whole truth of how Shigaraki is the grandson of Shimura, All Might had to like hype himself up, had to protect. I'm the hero, number one hero. I have to protect everybody. And everybody's hopes and dreams. And All For One's like, right away, Shigaraki is actually the grandson of your teacher, Shimura. And then that literally broke him. That gave him the whole shock and everything. That's just to really mess him up in that sort of situation.
I mean, with All Might, he didn't really like. All Might was literally perfect in a sense. Like he had no part in that. It's just that he was shocked because he knew what he had done to his master, which he really cared for his master, and that's what the shock was. He was like, wow, I couldn't save this kid because I didn't know. Is what it was.
Yeah, but Sam, like, I agree with like a lot of what you said, and everything you said is just a testament to great villains in general. Because if I don't know if anyone in the chat is a huge fan of like the Arrowverse, but look at Prometheus on Arrow.
Yeah,
he did the same thing to Oliver. He broke Oliver in every way humanly possible. He made Oliver kill Felicity's boyfriend. Same thing with like Thawne. Thawne in the comics has gone back in time every time
multiple
Barry
times.
has friends.
Multiple times.
Anytime Barry gets friends, he goes back in time and erases their family from existence so that Barry can never have friends. These are marks of just amazing villains, and everything you just said just shows how great Dabi is as a villain. And I really hope we get more from him.
It just breaks some psychology.
I really do hope that like Dabi does make it through this encounter. And I think he does, because I think at this point he's like, hey, I did what I want to do. Now you tell me what you want me to do, is what I'm assuming Dabi does at this point. And he just becomes a very, very strong asset to the League of Villains again. Like because now he's done his piece. He did his side quest, and now he's more loyal to the big quest. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, I took out Endeavor. I wanted to make Endeavor quit being a hero. I did that. So now I'm all y'all's. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, okay, that's lit. Literally. So,
that's a good point, though. I like the side quest reference because it's very true. Like, he came to do this, and now he might give the whole loyalty to now the whole army, the
right.
whole
That's what
goal.
I'm thinking. That's what he'll do. Yeah.
Because like that is the best option now, because our boy Shigaraki is now hurt and everything, and plus Dabi is one of the commanders, or like one of the 10, one of the 10 commanders, and plus the only ones that are good to lead right now is Dabi, Toga, Skeptic, because the other guy, the ones that's supposed to lead with Shigaraki, he's down also because his feet hurts. Oh, not feet hurts. His feet is caught off. Yeah, Redestro. He's also down as well.
I'm sure he's fine. I think he's fine.
So
he just got buried a little bit, but he's fine.
Yeah, so like I'm really curious to know how it's going to lead up to like the aftermath. And also I like what the comments said, because this was also one of my theories as well, that Deku will also have to tell other people about his quirks. Not everyone, but he's going to spill the beans to the current people that's there.
Why?
I mean, they already know, bro. They saw it. They ought to see him be like, hey, you flying around now all of a sudden? You using this thing I ain't never seen you use before? And you still strong? Listen, bro, we got to talk. I'm pretty sure that's what's about to happen.
That's my other theory. I've been saying that before as well. Like,
I know, but and like we talked about this before, it's like I don't see people jumping to the conclusion of one for all. It's just quirk evolution.
No, not one for all, but it's just like, yo, he has 3 quirks.
James, bro, yeah, like he's like, hey, you didn't just evolve your quirk, you grew 2 other ones.
Yeah, like I would get it if his quirk evolved from just punching and everything having full strength, but he flew and Black
all
Whip.
I'm saying is, all they have to say is, yeah, that's how my quirk evolution works. I'm a late bloomer, and now I have all of these quirks coming out.
And everybody go look at him like,
but
okay,
what proof would they have to be the opposite?
They're gonna be like, oh my, he gonna be like, and they're gonna be like, that says everything we need to know.
You're like, oh, might be like this, like.
So I mean, look, that explanation is gonna have to come out. They're gonna be like, why did he target you? Why did you think he was only targeting you? And why did he target you?
Like, why you only? So like,
why you specifically? So that's why I feel like, to a point, Endeavor, I'm thinking he won't die in this encounter, but he will be broken as a hero. Like, he won't want to continue as a hero. He'll basically give it up.
I mean, society won't let him continue.
Exactly.
Him and Shoto's face throughout the whole reaction, throughout the whole hearing that whole monologue, where it's just like speechless. Like, their folks was like, wait, that's my older brother, that's my elder son. It's like just broken. It's like the way Hori drew them, it just full depression, full desperation, just full broken. It was I mean,
I don't know. So I have this weird feeling that somehow this gives Shoto like some relief, knowing that his dad didn't essentially kill his brother.
That too goes to be the case, because also
potentially
Deku was shocked too, because also Deku was shocked like, wait, that's.
I mean, because he was missing, but they all thought that they Endeavor basically killed him.
I think like one of our theories that like maybe Dabi was one of the test subjects with like Hawk, and to be with the whole government and secret society. I think something we've said before, because Hawks also took that into Impact, because I think they both had to be around the same age.
I'm pretty sure they took Hawks after they tried to do what they did with Hawks with Dabi, and it didn't work out.
Yeah,
and, he basically, his quirk burned him up, and so they discarded him, and never let him do it. And I'm pretty sure that's why he's pissed, because I'd be pissed. It's like, yo, you're my dad. I thought you were supposed to protect me. But he's like, you're literally just somebody who I'm trying to breed to be better than All Might. And I'm like, yo, how shitty is that? Like, come on, man.
It's also not going to be the same for the whole Todoroki family, because within that entire panels, I think that was Natsu that was watching from the internet with his friend. Like, he's watching the video. I think maybe the sister was like trying to save someone from under the rubbles and stuff like that. It's not just the society will make Endeavor quit, but his entire family can't even like be shown in person or in camera or anything.
Oh, I feel like they'll be fine, because they're going to solely blame Endeavor, which is what I'm pretty sure Dabi's plan is, and I hope that's the case. Yeah. I hope that they absolutely blame him, and they have every right to, now that they know what he did, because it's not a good thing at all. So like, we've seen his redemption, but now we're also seeing his fall, and it's like, well, It depends on how Horikoshi's feeling. Does he want him to have redemption from this, or is this it? It is his fall from being a hero to just some broken man.
I love how in the page of 12 and 13 when our boy Dabi was giving the whole monologue, we saw the whole destruction. We saw an arm being in the blood and everything. We saw like the full destruction of the city, of the people. There's a kid crying in one of the panels in the middle. It's probably saying you've probably seen one of the parents or one of the family members die, like just in front of them. So seeing all this type of destruction, it just shows that what the villains have won and what you guys said, like they have really have won, and it's wild.
Like it's breaking the entire society physically by killing their heroes, mentally by twisting revealing the facts of your number one hero is not who he seems he is. He's not the whole Mr. Perfect. This guy is the opposite, 100% a horrible person.
I mean, I think that nobody ever thought Endeavor was Mr. Perfect, but they were like, well, I guess we gotta trust him because he's number one. But now it's like, yeah, no, we were right about him all along, which is way worse.
Yeah. This is going to destroy the entire ranking system. I feel like there's going to be a part of an arc that's just the reform of the hero society.
But like, you guys did say that, I think like a couple weeks ago, you guys said that we're gonna need a whole restructure of the whole hero system, because that's gonna change now after this, because most of our heroes is gone, most of our heroes are not even there, and plus now Endeavor being outed as not the best, symbol of peace now, like the whole cops are gonna say we cannot have you no more because your son has killed 30 people, he has criminals, he has
it's more like does your own kin, do you also bear the responsibilities and crimes of your kin?
I think in that culture, yes. And then like absolutely.
And like there's also, we kind of like known the fact is that your past will bite you in the ass in the future.
I mean, that's literally what Dabi said. Literally what he says. And so
never dies. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, who else's past do we have to go through now? And I mean, it's All Might. We have to see what is in his past that comes up that is not quite great.
It's like what's his dirty laundry, basically.
Because we don't know much about Dabi's past. Oh, sorry, now Dabi's All Might's past, because I really love the panel, but the saying that Dabi said, the past never dies, get it, reap what you sow, so let's tangle, you and me, father, and I dance with your son here in hell. So I love how he just wants to fight with both of his father and his brother.
Yeah, bro. He when Shoto
chapter
came along, he basically took everything. He gave not two single F's about Toya, period. And so of course he has a hatred for Toya. I mean, well, for Shoto, like he hates him.
Yeah,
absolutely. So I get it.
It's insane.
Do you think at any point that Dabi might try to pull Shoto to his side? I know you mentioned that Shoto might be one of those people that switch sides, but do you think that Dabi will try to make him switch? Because I mean, like, look at what our father has done to us.
Basically,
but the thing
was that's why I said he's on my short list potentially.
I was gonna say like Dabi's like first thought that maybe I should kill the son that's your so-called perfect son that can use 2 quirks and everything. Maybe that will destroy your dream, but no. Like,
that could work too, but also it's
no, that was his first thought. That was his first thought of how to break Endeavor, but no, it wasn't enough for him.
But so like the Joker's saying is that one bad day could lead to another. So if this bad day goes worse for Shoto, like right now he's broken mentally. So what happens if he's broken all the way to physically in this fight? Maybe he could just turn him over as well.
I don't see it happening.
I don't see that happening either.
Not with Shoto.
Not at least not now. I feel like it leads him to ask a lot more questions, which I'm really hoping these kids start to ask more questions.
Oh yeah, because I mean, realistically, Shoto knows everything that his father has done, right? What more information could he learn about Toya that would make him hate his father even more?
Right.
Like, what information could he possibly learn? Like, he already knows that Endeavor has only made his children to be a weapon against All Might and then abandon them. Like, what else do you need to know?
But the thing is, like, he thought the worst case scenario was just not to just abandon him because he's not fit, and then abandon his sister because he's not fit. But he never knew, like, what if, like, he never knew that the first son was the one was close to perfection. Because remember, it never keeps comparing Shoto to Toya in abilities, because Toya was kind of the closest. Was the first experiment, but he was a failed experiment, but he was the closest. He still had the hottest flames or stronger fire, But
Was he really the
comparing him.
closest? Because the reason why Endeavor married his wife was because she had an ice quirk.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
what he was looking for was to make a half and half.
Exactly.
Mhm.
He wanted
make a
one
quirk
that because
evolution.
he knew the drawbacks of his own quirk, and he wanted
Exactly.
to surpass that because he knew that his quirk was great, but he needed someone who had a compatible quirk that made his quirk stronger, essentially.
Yeah. So all of his kids are failed experiments
Mhm.
except Shoto. So
Exactly.
no one was close.
Well,
Each kid was one or the
I
other.
remember a flashback during a training that Endeavor kept comparing Shoto to his siblings, his older siblings. He was like, the fires were much stronger from there. You had to hit me with even more fire and everything.
Well, that was back when he wouldn't use the fire.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he hated the
Yeah.
fire because he hated Endeavor, and so
Yeah.
he knew that he had his fire, but he didn't
Mhm.
want to use it. So
And plus, even though we haven't spoken about it, but the last panel of that chapter, I can't wait to see more about because that's what Ray spoke about a couple weeks ago. Blue Genius is about to be arriving next chapter as well.
I need this. Yes,
Like he
God.
literally right there, he like the whole sound effect, like he's literally about to arrive next chapter. Like boom.
And so
I'm
I'm
here.
like, well, this is where it gets interesting.
Is that
Like, is this all like cut short, or do we actually get to see it happen? I'm really curious to see how this ends. Like the ending, I'm more curious about than like the actual information at this point, because I'm like, well, what's resolved and what isn't, and what's like tabled for later, and how we go about it. Because Gina showing up is a huge deal and can go either way. To be completely honest,
Agreed.
it's like, is Gina show up and just snatch everybody and bounce, or is it like, do they fight? I don't know. I'm hoping that my boy Genus comes in and it's like, hey yo, not dead, by the way, peace.
Yeah.
You know, we gotta go.
For me, I don't want to see any more fighting. I
Neither.
think this arc
We
has
have a lot
had
of fighting.
so
Yeah.
much fighting on all sides in a bunch of different areas. I think we need to retreat, and I think we need to rebuild. The heroes need to heal, the villains need to heal, and we also have to deal with the repercussions of what Toya just revealed to the entire world, that the
entire
number one hero is a piece of garbage.
Mhm.
Like, this is going to ruin everything. I think that's where the battle is going to go from here.
Well, I mean, it also confirms everything the villains thought about the heroes, you know, which is like,
Yeah.
oh snap. Like, we were right the whole time. Y'all all are just like people who aren't like us, but like people actually kind of like you. No, you're just like us, so we're heroes too. And then they come out as like the Dark Avengers or some shit.
Yeah,
Yo,
it's
that'd
like,
be
it's like
amazing.
you
The Dark
call
Avengers.
It's like you call me a villain, but what do you call Endeavor, who used his kids only to destroy All Might because of his own jealousy and envy? Like, you're not a good person.
Annie, I personally, looking at the comments, this is my favorite arc of.
I was just about to ask that.
Same.
Same here.
It is,
Same here.
It is my favorite.
This one-
My
Cemented.
Hero Academia was good, but like this was a whole nother level. This is
Correct.
really good.
Is then
Cemented.
and then is my Villain Academia. Both is like right here, but this right now, if this fails, it's just hard right now. This is like to just
I
go.
do not. Like I said,
I don't
I
see
could
it.
not see the
hard
feeling
was
either.
bad for this to miss. This is already just like done so much for this whole story. So I'm like, so far, it's my favorite.
But also, one of the questions that I asked is that with Blue Genius arriving, do you think we're gonna get our Bakugo's name at the end of this
Later
arc
on.
as well?
I don't think. I think
Later
that
on.
comes next arc. To be honest
Yeah,
with you,
same here. It
Yeah,
feels
the
like
next arc.
he's gonna be like,
it's kind of forced,
my hero dad. My name is, and he faints.
right? It's like it'll feel very out of character, not out of character, but out of context. If it just pops up like, "Oh, Blue Genius, you here? Let me just tell my hero name before I pass out."
Blue Genius is alive. That we know that we're gonna get the name. That's what I like.
Yeah.
At least we know
Eventually.
that. At least Bakugo, like we know he's still trying to stay conscious and like, yo, we gotta try to win. Absolute
Word. I can
victory.
get problems. He's like,
bro, I love you. I love your guts. I love your efforts and everything.
Dude, I
but
love Bakugo so much. Put me down, you armored four eyes.
He's like, hey, bro, you dying? Shut up.
I was like, I ain't dead yet. Let me keep fighting.
yo, he's like, I'm good. I can still fight. Like, boy, you and Deku are like down for the count.
Oh, I'm just really curious to see how this shapes. Like, this really ends. Like, I really got to see how this ends. I'm like, every week I'll be like, yo, all right, what's happening next? All right, what's happening next? And like, that makes a good story for me. I love this story. It's been so much fun, and it's only getting crazier from here. Like, I feel like the possibilities truly could be endless.
Yeah.
Which is why I really love this. Like, yo. Like, because I'll be honest, there are other shonen that are currently running that, you know, you can see it's like, well, that's what's clearly going to happen. Horikoshi could do anything at this point, and I love that.
I really can't wait to see the the whole continuation of this conversation hopefully doesn't get cut too short. Hopefully we get at least a bit more in a couple of pages. Can't wait to see the conversation about Deku and plus All Might that's gonna be having. Like, hey, so I spoke to your past predecessor. This happened. I have float now and everything. It's like this, this gonna be a long conversation and everything.
I wonder if Deku can bring All Might into that world to talk to her.
So like some type of like,
I
hey,
think so.
let's hold hands. Let's go into
Right.
the
Let's
whole
go into
universe.
come into the Avatar state with me, and let's have this this talk. Because I mean, he still has like probably like tiny embers of the quirk, so he could potentially still at least do that. I don't know, but that'd be sick. I would love to see that conversation. Like,
Yeah, I definitely can see that as a thing for sure.
One of the other things I saw in the comments, a lot of people was comparing this family about Endeavor to like Zuko's family. Blue Fire is Azula, Zuko is technically Shoto, and then his father Ozai is technically Endeavor and everything. So it's kind of almost the same type of family style and everything. Which I kind of see it, but not exactly. But I do see it.
But
The whole type of reference.
People started comparing that since the beginning of Dabi's introduction when he was using blue flames, and then you
Yes,
see the whole
that's
Dabi
true.
versus Shoto. Like, I think they're kind of related somehow, one way or another. It's like, well, I mean, we all watched Avatar. We all know the whole blue flame is hotter than red and orange flames and stuff like that.
So kind of random, right? Now that we're talking about comparisons, so kind of outside of the anime world. So I was watching Creed and Creed 2 yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was actually thinking that the comparison between All Might Deku and Endeavor and Shoto is actually pretty much exactly like Rocky Creed and Ivan and his son Victor.
Yeah,
Victor
bro.
was only created to destroy the legacy of Rocky. And then Rocky took on Creed because Rocky wouldn't train any other boxer. But when Creed shows up, because of his ideals, he trains him to become a great boxer. So watching that yesterday, I was like, there's some really great parallels between like Rocky and Drago to Endeavor and All Might. It's kind of weird.
It is kind of weird, but actually,
That's
I love
actually true.
it. Like,
That's
Creed, like,
good.
I mean, for people who don't know, Creed is some of like my favorite movies. Period. I love those
Same,
movies.
same.
So I was like, yeah, I love that. Actually, that's lit. Yeah.
That's a good comparison. That's very true because that actually works better because it makes it true. Like one was born for another to destroy the other.
Yeah.
Wow, that's actually true.
My hero is. I mean, all this to say, my hero is real good, y'all.
Yes, really good writing. Really good writing.
It's this. I love this story, and I feel like it's only gonna get better. I mean, we've had some slightly not, what we think are like godlike arcs, but not every arc has to be godlike. It's been good. I feel like my hero's been solid from start to where we are now.
Like, really great pacing.
And now
in
it's
this entire
really
arc.
good right now. So I mean, yeah.
and plus, for those people that don't know, we've been doing review coverage and reaction coverage since chapter 192. We're about to reach the 100 mark of covering the My Hero series, and the chapter when Dabi and plus Endeavor met again, it was chapter 190, and this is literally 100 chapters later that we're in 290. So this is insane that how is 100 chapters later, because Ray,
This
if you remember,
whole plan.
you reacted to this scene of chapter 190 for the season of this past year. So this is literally 100 chapters later. That's insane. In the same year too.
It's crazy. And to see how far this story has changed is like, bro. But somebody in chat just asked, who's the most powerful in the new big three? And in terms of the school students.
Yeah.
And I mean, you gotta put like in terms of like raw power.
Deku, Bakugo,
I mean,
and Deku
I
right
would
there.
say raw power. Deku.
I mean, yeah, Deku.
Like in terms of like strongest overall, like strength, strategy, perception.
It's Bakugo because Deku once Deku knows how to control his flow, Black Whip, and other quirks, then it's Deku 100%.
Deku was untouchable at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like as a third, I mean, we by default can say Shoto, but like I think that it might be our boy Tokoyami.
Yeah, but I saw what Sweet Cake said. Shoto could be second, but if you knew and accepted both his quirks already, he could be a beast. But he just recently started to accept his quirks, where once he knows how to master his quirk evolution for both quirks, then he could be on the same level. But right now, he just started to accept that. He started to use his quirks, his other.
I mean, he just basically learned that he has them.
Yeah.
In terms of raw power, I can agree with that. But like Ray said, like if we're talking about overall, like power, strategy, being a tactician, like I mean, that's Bakugo, bro.
Straight up.
That's Bakugo.
Straight up Bakugo. So,
Especially like Shoto just kind of learn a little bit more of Endeavor's attacks with the whole.
I mean, and
flash
we
fire
also,
fists.
I also don't want to leave out Momo because like even
That's
though
true.
she's like not had like a super great moment to shine. Every single time she's like had one, it's been like big brain, but it's like just not enough. And I feel like that was, to be honest, it was she always had the weakest team going in every single time. Like if she was teamed up with like the powerhouses in the class and had to make the plan, I feel like they would have succeeded every single time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're gonna get something really big with her in future arcs.
I think so too.
Because I mean, her intellect and her ability, her quirk is creation. She can make anything. So it's like,
hell yeah.
She has the potential to be great.
Absolutely.
So I guess we're all good on the.
I'm gonna ask, like, do you think this is like the climax of this arc now, the last climax of this arc now, or is it gonna be more?
It's just hard to tell. Like we don't know
reveal, but the next one, I feel like when Gina shows up, that's the climax.
Yeah, like once we know who Gina is, like
that's the one.
And that's when we know all the cards, all the pieces have been placed on the table. That's when we know, okay, we're in the end game. Like we're in the end game.
How I see the climax is when we disengage from this conflict.
Right.
Like for me, that's the climax. When we start to disengage from literally what's happening right here, because this is happening in like the span of like what, I don't know, 10 minutes. Who knows?
We don't really know.
It really sounds like a whole D&D 10 minutes kind of situation battle.
Like within like an hour or something like that.
It could be. We don't really know, guys. So are we all good?
I think we're good. Bring on 291. Well done, Horikoshi.
I was also just gonna
291 and shout out to Shoto using the flash fire fist.
That is true.
Oh, it was cool. Yo, bro, that was weak.
The jet kindling.
Just put more heat in it. Sam, you gonna say something or you good?
Yeah, like the last theory that people predicted was the flower that was with Shoto's mom. Was Dabi's Dabi putting a flower onto her, the vase and everything. It wasn't because when Endeavor came to try to visit his wife and just give him like give her flowers and stuff, he was wondering like whose flower is this from, and
that could be Dabi.
Toya Dabi.
That would be dope as shit.
I feel like that's absolutely what happened.
That could exactly be it.
The first page where you actually see one flower trying to tap the other one.
Him letting her know that he was alive, but also I feel like apologizing to her at the same time.
That could be the case. Oh,
she was the victim.
I've seen the panel. Yeah, I've seen the panel.
She was the victim, but also Shoto was also the victim too.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I think at this point
all of
he
the
doesn't
kids
care.
are victims.
But now he doesn't really care of like who he needs to kill, what's gonna be happening. He just wants.
Well, I don't really think he's gonna kill his mom because his mom really did not.
No. He's not gonna do that.
Yeah.
I think he'll be okay with killing Shoto maybe if he wanted to. But
see, I don't think he's going to kill any of them.
I don't
think he kills Endeavor because Endeavor needs to live to suffer. It's the reason why he didn't kill Shoto. And if someone's dead, they can't suffer. Exactly. Now that he's revealed this secret to the entire world, Endeavor has to live out the rest of his days not being a hero ever again and having to walk the streets with everyone on the streets knowing that he's a terrible father, a terrible hero. He has to live through that for the rest of his life. That's how you get to him.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with what James just said because it's exactly what Dabi says, that I've been thinking of the way to do this to you, and I thought not to kill you, but what can I do to hurt you the best place, and this was the best way to do it. So this was amazing overall, great chapter. Like the whole team said, can't wait for 291 next week. So we're good.
You're good.
Yeah, I mean the nail in the coffin would be if that broadcast continues and he talks about what Hawks did.
Yeah, so I can't wait.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Yes, the recording is not done. This is more than his conversation.
Because, he can flip it and make it look like Hawks was actually trying to infiltrate the heroes on the villain's behalf. So that's the number one and number two hero. Like,
yes, your number one is terrible, and your number two was
and plus also showing that Hawks also killed Dabi.
No,
you mean twice?
He doesn't have. You mean
sorry. Yeah, thank you, sir.
But he doesn't have the proof for that. He doesn't have the proof for that.
I mean, all he has to do is tell him.
Yeah, just tell them. They don't need the proof. People right now to believe stuff.
Remember, this is not a live broadcast. This was a pre-recorded tape that he did for the world to see in the internet, though. So.
Which for him to have time and plant this and have this file the whole time, like, hey, I'm gonna just carry this whole memory card with me.
You gotta have this since day one ready.
Yeah, like I'm gonna just carry this whole memory card with me.
He's the product of the whole failed society. And if anything happens to him, or if he died early on, or for whatever reason got captured in anything, this tape was gonna be coming out to the world.
All I'm gonna say, my last piece is Gentle was right.
Yes.
Yo, that's true. Dabi took the whole thing of Gentle. Like, you know what, Gentle? I'm gonna take your idea. I'm gonna just put it up a notch.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
I'm gonna go live stream.
This is what makes Horikoshi a great writer. If you break down every single person in the League of Villains, are they really terrible people, or are they this way because of the circumstances that they grew up with, because of this hero society?
100% agree, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this long live stream of reviews now that we're gonna do for My Hero. This is what we're gonna try and do every week now, and hopefully you guys enjoy this type of where we do a review but also have a discussion with you guys in the comment section and in the live stream chat. Is very helpful and also enjoys with you guys. So like, comment, subscribe, and press that bell notification. And also, if you're watching the VOD, comment down below as well and give us your thoughts. Other than that, guys, see you guys on the next one for more Black Clover and Chainsaw Man live stream as well.
Bye.